DF150, you're having a problem putting the filter on, do not crease the oil filter. This is what happened to me on the water. Started from a small leak to a complete emptying of the oil in the motor, all from that crease. So use the right tool, spread out the load on that top, and snug it on without creasing the filter pan. So I wanted to show you guys something that's something to look out for. We're going to investigate this further, but from that previous snapshot or video you just saw from my phone was a leak that's a pinhole in this fuel filter. It's a Suzuki DF150, and the leak is right in here in this pivot. And I wanted to show you how minuscule this divot is from tightening the filter before. I'm gonna, maybe I back this out a little bit so you can see some in the reflections. You can see the regular, you know, divots, of course, from the indents for the to mate your grip or your adapter, but you can see how the divot from me tightening it last time was so tiny. It wasn't like a major wrinkle in this thing, and from what I remember seeing, there's a pinhole right there, and it just poured oil out of this engine while we were on the water. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this off now. I'm just finished draining the engine, and we're going to find out, is this a knockoff? It says it's made in Tokyo. I don't know if this is genuine Suzuki. Obviously, you know, this is a genuine filter, the 16510. See if you see that okay. 96J10. And the filter looks just like this filter. See, they look identical. So it could be that that's an authentic Suzuki filter. One thing I've noticed, obviously there's no Suzuki emblem on this. It says 2LS there, Tokyo. So maybe this is authentic. We'll find out in a second when we pull this off. Okay, so I'm going to use a strap wrench. I still don't have a tool that fits this exactly right. And that's what I'm going to suggest putting this on with. Because I might have used my expander wrench or something on this before. You know, maybe it's better. You got a lot of hoses over here too, so it's not that easy to get a clear, because you got the water pump outlet port hose right behind this. So let's see how well this cooperates to come off. All right, so that's not bad. So that's pretty good. Let's see if that's hand tight yet. Nope, not for my hands. Maybe yours. Let's get a little more on it. Okay, and this is probably going to make some mess, I'm sure, because what it was going to do, not only analyze the markings on this. Let me level the engine out a little more. I had it tilted just to help the oil move a little forward on the plate above the lower unit while I was draining the oil, so it wouldn't spread all over the yard. Okay, so that's nice and empty. Again, so this is the divot where the leak is. Let me see if I can get this good in the picture. Looking on my monitor, maybe out here. Yeah, see that? Right there. That's where there's a pinhole. So don't ever crunch these filters up, and I mean, I barely, if you feel it with your hands, that's not even a big deal versus what we're used to seeing on car filters, certainly. But that is the only, that's the only divot on this thing, and it was leaking pretty quick. The problem was that I had, oh yeah, I see it. I think I see the crease. It's right there, right on that edge. The problem is with this housing on it, okay, I don't know what you'd call this, the mid housing here. When this is on it, you know, and I'm not going to fully put this on, but when you're in the water and you're looking at this, you can't see underneath that filter. I could barely see the top of it. So I was really confused. I had a bunch of tools in the boat, but not enough. And certainly didn't have, 5 or 6 liters of oil with me. So it was going out pretty quick. So we quickly got it back to dock, just idling, and before it was completely empty. And then we got it to a different marina, transferred with cars to go get the trailer, all that fun. But it was a mess. And so while we're here, let's take a look and see if anything is suspicious on this filter. Still, again, nothing says Suzuki, just like it, nothing on the actual Suzuki filter. Let me hold them together. Maybe we see some difference. Let me readjust the camera here. Okay. This is the new genuine Suzuki, so I don't see any difference there in hole layouts. Looks pretty identical there. Certainly diameters are the same, as they line up. No difference there. So lettering wise, we go from English caution and okay, that looks legit. 4 rows plus of attention. That looks the same. Break in the line, oil filter 16510-96J10. Yep, made in Japan. The only difference is this used one says 1AR, and this one says, the new one says 2LS right there. All right, so that's the only difference I'm seeing here. And then a bunch of Japanese 4 lines, and then back to the caution. So that's the only difference I see. The depth of the filter housing looks the same inside. So maybe that's authentic or not. I'll tell you what, I might cut this open and mic this steel and see see how thick that is. Obviously I'm not going to cut a new one up on this side. Maybe next time I change the oil I'll cut that one up. But I am curious why that little bit of crease caused that leak right there. And I ran this a long time. I probably ran this since I changed this oil. I bet I ran this for a good probably 25 hours worth of running before this leak showed up. So no beeps or overheating signs at all. So it just happened. Ruined, obviously, the outing that we were on. So that was no fun. Cut our day short. Luckily it was at the end of the day, but it still was no fun traveling a lot of miles from one marina to the next, and transferring cars and all that fun with other people's cars, but we made it work. Okay. All right, so that's lubed up. And the plate looks good. we are definitely going to be very gentle with this. Let's get these threads to line up. There we go. Get some better grip. Okay. Let's see what kind of hand tight we can get with this. Of course, I had you out of view, I'm sorry. So we got it on hand tight. Maybe I overdid it before. That's hand. I'm going to give it just a little bit of snug with the strap. I'd love to push this all the way up, but I don't want to. That would be loosened. And this would be tightened. So I'm going to be very gentle with this. If it grips. Okay. Now, I say we wet test this after we fill it up. I know you guys have all changed your oil in your Suzukis. Obviously, I'm using the V7000 X-Star 1040 blend. This engine takes 8 whopping liters. Of course, these are gallon jugs, so each one's 3.7 liters. So it'll take both of these plus partial of a quart. And these are, I mean, the oil fills here, which is nice, but you need to make sure you have something with some good slope in it on this backside so it doesn't bleed out over top of your engine as you're pouring it. And just take your time. I'm sure there's better funnel creations out there. It's not worth rushing it or trying to multitask. And when I finish this one, we will cut and edit it until we're all full to save time. By the way, if you're going back to quarts on this, US quarts for the manual says is 8.5 US quarts. 8 liters exactly, or 8.5 US quarts, not imperial. Imperial is a different number. Can't remember what that was off the top of my head. So let's see where we are with those 2 gallons in here. I'm losing light. Skeeters are starting to come out. I'd like to get this done before. Gotta hold this in the. Yeah, obviously there was a little bit of oil already in there that doesn't come out. I mean, I drained it for a long time. It's just shy of the upper notch. Do this one more time. So I may just add a smidgen, then check it in the morning before I take off. No reason to go crazy and overfill it. I'm sorry I'm not holding it in front of you, but I gotta get some sunlight on this, what I have left. Nothing like clear and visible oil on a dipstick. Yeah, that's really close. So maybe what I'll do is, yeah, I'll run this. Let's run this right now, and then I'll top it off in the morning. Not forgetting to put the fill plug in though. Let's put that fill plug in. Now, something I have to do on this motor, as I put my ears on, is they don't stay tight enough. I've tried a lot of stuff. I've tried a lot of different ones of these. If you all have a better model, please comment below. But what I've noticed, if I come in here and put a little furniture clamp on that one's by Craig. Thanks, Craig. Then that makes it tight enough to get the water up efficiently where it needs to go in the motor. And let's turn her on. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. If I didn't have that clamp on there, it's really hard for water to get up here in the system and fill it and get it all the way through. So that's one little trick that helps me out. So let's look at the filter. Let's get a light on this. Up in there. Suzuki down here. Looks good. Ready to go in the water tomorrow. Excellent. Okay, thanks for